Hello, everybody, it's Tim here again, here with yet another video. I actually double featured this movie with Renfield, so I figured I was just getting a review for this one as well. Evil Dead Rise, which I just recently saw. For people that don't know, who maybe haven't followed my channel, I review movies from 1 to 4 stars, and I'm a massive Evil Dead fan, which hence the name Boomstick Critique, of course, for my channel. But yeah, I'm a big Evil Dead fan. I love Evil Dead, the franchise. I really enjoy Evil Dead 1. I love Evil Dead 2. I really love Armor in Darkness. I love the TV series. Big fan of all of them. I think all of them are pretty much close to 4 stars in terms of entertainment value, in terms of execution for what they are. The remake from 2013 I thought was good. In the theatrical version, I'd give it like a 3 out of 4. The unrated cut I think is great though. I really enjoy the unrated cut. I think it's more fun. I think it has more fun to it. The unrated cut I'd give a 4 out of 4. So yeah, for all the Evil Dead products, I think they're all pretty much 4 out of 4 so far. And Evil Dead Rise, no exception, 4 out of 4. At the same time, I think I enjoyed this slightly more than the 2013 remake. But I still don't think, just like the 2013 remake, I don't think this is as good as the Sam Raimi ones. I don't. But I can also see why someone would enjoy the 2013 one more than this one. To start off, if you've seen the trailers, you know it's in an apartment complex or whatever, hence the title Evil Dead Rise. It starts out in the woods or whatever, which almost seemed kind of pointless until you get to the end where it wraps back around to the woods, where it's like a cabin in the woods and this like woman's like sister or whatever is possessed and all that, and her shitty boyfriend is there, and you get like this travel thing like through the woods at the beginning of the opening, which is kind of cool to remind you of the nostalgia of the Raimi movies. But then of course you find out it's actually just a drone, it's not the evil force, and the girl who's possessed like comes alive, like rips the top of the other chick's head off, her sister or whatever. I think it's her sister, maybe her cousin, like rips her head off, top of her scalp off or whatever, and then goes up there and like takes out the boyfriend, and then she like rises up out of the water after she's fell into it, and you see the title in the background in big letters, Evil Dead Rise. Cool opening. And then of course we skip where we're in an apartment place, and the chick who's the main star of the movie or whatever shows up, this black-haired chick you've seen in the trailers. She shows up there to see her sister, and you find out her sister's man has like left her and her kids. There's 3 kids. There's a boy with blonde hair. He's actually a transgender actor, I believe. I didn't even know that until after I saw the movie, I believe. And then there's a little girl, and then there's a slightly older sister with black hair. And they're there, whatever, and we find out the dad left, and the mom is, I believe the actress' name might be like Alyssa, or something like that, Sutherland, maybe? Or, I don't know, I think she's Australian. But she's the best part of the movie, acting-wise. She is awesome here. The one who plays the mom, you've seen her in trailers, where she's like, open up now, looking through the peephole, talking to the daughter, small daughter. She's the best part of the movie by far, acting-wise. You get scenes like before she's taken over or whatever, she's like, save my babies, or whatever, talking about the kids. The other sister, the younger one, I think, who like works as like a band roadie or something, and the older sister is like a tattoo artist. And of course, the older sister keeps talking about her, saying that she's a groupie because they got some bad blood between them. It never really specifies. And you get like this whole hint about something about like their mom, how she was messed up or something. But that's another thing they never really go into. Like the beginning of this film, after the opening, takes a little while to get to the action and to the good stuff that you want to see. There's a little bit too much like family melodrama going on without the movie ever really like specifying like what precisely the problems are. But the younger sister, or whatever, the black hair girl who's the star, you find out that she's like pregnant, and she's like going there and basically looking for mother tips, but it never really plays into the movie much. It's just basically something else where you get more sympathy for her because she's pregnant. That's pretty much it. Doesn't really play much into the movie. But no, the sister gets possessed, the tattoo artist one, and then she like goes through the movie like trying to attack him and all that kind of crazy shit. You get the fun scenes from the trailer where she's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or whatever, which is pretty funny. I'll say this movie has more of that Evil Dead 2 humor. This movie felt more traditional Sam Raimi than the Evil Dead 2013 movie did. Like in that one of the things I didn't like about that one is that Deadites like had over-the-top cussing like they were from The Exorcist. Here, that's not here. These Deadites are closer to like the Sam Raimi Deadites, and the humor here is closer to like Evil Dead 2. This has more of that traditional Evil Dead 2 Sam Raimi humor. You get a scene where she like bites out some dude's eyeball, and then spits it, and it like flies in the dude's mouth and like chokes him, and he falls over dead. It's kind of a little bit too silly, but at the same time it was fun, because I enjoyed the callback to the Evil Dead 2 movie. It's not as good as that sequence, but it was still fun. And yeah, and she like pretty much is her trying to like break into the house or whatever, and the slightly older daughter with the black hair, she gets like her face cut up by the tattoo gun. You see it in the trailer. And I was surprised they took her out as soon as they did. I figured the brother would have been taken out before her, but they kind of saved him for last. But she gets like her face tattooed by the gun or whatever, and then she starts like breaking out in like a spider web type thing on her face, similar to what happened with Linda in the first Evil Dead movie with her ankle. And then she starts attacking them. And this the youngest daughter, the little girl, stabs her through the mouth with this stick. It has like a Barbie's head on it that she made. Then they wrap her up, and then later on she comes back to life and like attacks the brother and stabs him with like with a knife through the arm, and then he lights her on fire. Like you get really graphic like attacks here in terms of the violence of the Deadites, like fighting the kids and all that. And but this movie it's not as overly graphic as the 2013 one. This one's holding back. I think part of that compared to that one, it's holding back. I think part of that one may have been like either the MPAA didn't want this to be, maybe they cut some stuff because it was violence against kids and they weren't willing to like let so much of it in or go or whatever. Like when the woman gets attacked in the elevator in this one, instead of her like being basically raped or impregnated by the evil like in the 2013 remake and the original, she just gets like her body pulled or whatever by the cords in the elevator, and then you don't see what happens and you just assume she got possessed. Maybe that was something that was there that was cut out because it was too graphic, and maybe it'll be in the unrated edition, because there probably will be an unrated edition of this. I don't know, but it feels like there's some stuff cut out of this because it feels tamer. But at the same time, it feels more. At the same time, it's not like overly tame or anything. There's still a lot of great violence here. It's just tamer in comparison to the 2013 one. But when you get the humor in here, though, I did think it was funny for the most part. And of course, at the end or whatever, it is predictable who's going to live. Like the younger sister and the youngest daughter or whatever of the girl who gets possessed. You get the idea that they're going to be the ones that make it out, and the older children are going to be the ones that die brutally. You get that idea going on here. And of course, the evil, the way the book shows up or whatever, this earthquake happens, and then you get the older brother being stupid, going down in the hole it made in the ground into this vault, where you know he's going to find something bad. And he finds records, and he finds the Book of the Dead that's in there. And of course, he goes and starts playing them. Which you get the idea that maybe he would be curious to play him or whatever, but it's still kind of stupid. You know that he's stupid for just going down in there though and like risking his life just to look and see what the hell's in there. And he gets the shit and plays the record, and that's what sends the incantation. And you get like this priest on it talking about like when like I don't know if it's centuries ago or decades ago or whatever, where he was like working with the evil and he had found the book and they had done the spell and unleashed it, and he had to fight off a bunch of demons or some shit back in the day and fight off a bunch of deadites, as the hero priest back in the day or whatever. And so that's when the force comes and possesses the mother. You get to the end of the movie and they make it out into the hallway, and then she gets the shotgun that this one neighbor had. And I will say this, there's a couple other like neighbors. It's only the top floor of the apartment complex that gets attacked by the evil force, where the characters are trapped, because the rest of the apartment complex is like cut off by the earthquake. So they have to figure out how to make it down into the bottom floor or whatever, basically, or make it down to the bottom so they can get the hell out of here. And they're trying to get out of there. And you get like she gets the shotgun and shoots off like her sister's like legs and stuff. The hero girl does, and she falls down. And the other deadites are like talking, saying, "Everyone here will be dead by dawn, Beth." Yeah, I believe that's the character's name, Beth, the hero sister. And they're like, "Dead by dawn." You get that callback, and it was kind of fun because it was. I felt like it was an appropriate part of the movie when it showed up. And they start saying that, and then all the deadites like merge together into one like big deadite that's like this big thing-looking creature, which is pretty cool. They did use some CGI for like certain scenes at the main climax when they're like she's fighting the Beth character or whatever, and she's like having to knock it into this wood chipper type thing, which is how she's gonna take it out. And they did use some like digital enhancement right then, and that kind of did annoy me. I didn't really need that. There are little bits of digital enhancement in this movie that I don't really think needed to be there. But yeah, overall, other than that, I found the ending fight climax with the monster like really entertaining. It was graphic fun, but you do get the idea though that it's going to be the Beth character and the youngest daughter that lives. It's kind of wrote in that way, really, because she's the youngest. They're not really going to brutalize her as bad as these slightly older kids in the movie. Maybe it probably would have been more trippy or more surprising if the youngest daughter died and it was one of the slightly older kids that lived. That probably would have actually been more surprising. I think I would have liked that better. But it is kind of predictable what happens at the end. They demolish the creature and then they get away. Then there's this other chick who's like supposed to be the chick at the beginning, who's the cousin that gets possessed. It does a wraparound. And she's like waking up in her apartment. You get the idea that she slept through the whole thing. And it's like, well, how the fuck did you sleep through this earthquake and all that noise? And it's kind of ridiculous. But then she walks out to the apartment. She walks out to get her in her vehicle and like drive off to go meet her cousin or whatever at the lake. And that's when the force shows up and just like attacks her and possesses her, and that's supposed to explain how it wraps back around to the beginning. She gets possessed at the end. So I kind of like that. It's kind of cool how it wraps back around like that. But at the same time, though, there is this cat in the movie that's in like the ventilation shaft and everything, who's like belongs to one of the neighbors, and you never see the cat again. You don't even see it get killed. You don't know what happened to it, or even if it was even bothered. Like one of the main Deadite, who's like the leader of them, which is the sister in this one, the older sister. She like sees the cat like going through the vents or whatever, and that's how she gets the idea to go through the vents, to, like break into where um, the kids are and the Beth character, because they're locking her out of the apartment. And so that's how she decided to go in there. And you don't never know what happens to the cat. Like I thought it would have been like a funny joke at the end if the cat was the only one left and it was possessed and it attacked the girl and took her over. That would have played into like more Evil Dead 2 humor, I think. That would have been kind of funny. But they don't do that. And I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. But when the evil force shows up at the end and attacks her, that was cool. Because it does a neat job of wrapping around back to the beginning. So overall, I would give this a 4 out of 4 as an awesome, fun movie. It's not as intense. I actually don't think it's as scary as the 2013 one, but it's more fun. So overall, for being more closer to Evil Dead 2, which I prefer to Evil Dead 1, I would say I enjoyed this one slightly more. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again.